Good morning. Welcome to another Gribbly's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour. I have had a very tumultuous relationship with wakefulness since 4 o'clock this morning, and I'm sad to say the thrill is gone. Also, I'm getting over a cold, but that is not going to stop me from trying a new tobacco today, the Tsuji, whatever, the samurai god, Gunjin. I don't know how to say any of this, but I'm going to open this up and check it out, and then we're going to answer your questions as we always do. Neither sunrise wedding, nor flood, nor rain, nor, I guess rain is a flood, nor lightning storm, but you never really get a storm without rain, right? People talk about an electrical storm as if there's no rain. Like, okay, well, none of that stuff is going to stop me from making my Sunday antisocial video. Ain't nobody going to turn me around. In description makes this sound a bit like a ribbon-cut Stockaby's bullseye flake with some Orientals in it. So we'll see how it plays out. I have already shot my wedding for the day. If you don't know, if you're just tuning in, I am a wedding photographer, and I have a really fun story about trying a brand new tobacco the day before I had to shoot a big wedding, or the morning on the day I had to shoot a big wedding, and how that turned out. You can go check that out. Search my channel for a video called Elizabethan Mixture is a Chemical Weapon. I have been holding off trying new tobaccos because I've had so many weddings, and I like to try a new tobacco when I've really got some time on a weekend morning. But lately I've just been doing lots of weddings. Here's the tin art one more time. What cool tin art. So yeah, let's do some first impressions here with my craptacular Bic lighter. I can't remember who it was that commented. I think I made a note, commented saying I should get a clipper. This Bic lighter has been with me way too long for me to turn back now. I actually really detest it, but I can't lose it. I can't lose it, and it'll apparently never run out. If I get a lighter I like, of course, I'll immediately lose it, or it, very soon runs out of butane. This one is going to be around until I am old and gray, apparently. Okay, so we got some business to attend to here. But first, oh, come on, I don't have a password. Get to my comments. All right, first. Before we get to all that, thank you so much for all your kind words about the flooding in my town, which is, I guess it's getting better. I mean, I went fishing yesterday and I caught a few fish, so that's something, right? I mean, I know lots of businesses and homes are destroyed, but fish are biting, so that's good. Yeah, rivers flood. I don't understand why this is such a big problem. Like, you would think like the last really big flood we had was in 2004, right? 14 years ago. But there's been one since then that was pretty bad. You would think that, like, if this was something that happened every 7-8 years, you wouldn't, like, I don't know, build something really important in a floodplain. So that is what has been going on, and I'm drinking my coffee black as always. And we've got some good coffee questions today. The wedding this morning was on the banks of the river, and there were actually banks. Apparently, the river rose quite a bit, and a bunch of snakes had to be run out of the venue before the wedding because the river brought with it water snakes and copperheads and all kinds of things. And I was like, yeah, whatever. There was like 2 snakes, and these out-of-towners saw them, and they freaked out. And then I saw like 4 snakes. No, I saw 1 snake during the wedding, and I just kind of didn't mention it to anyone. But yeah, it was a nice wedding, but I am so exhausted that if I start slurring my speech, you will know why. Jody Kalal asked Gribbs to ask Derek Tant, what about Folgers coffee? I mean, I'm a simple guy. Why not? Derek Tant says, if you enjoy Folgers, Jody, you're already condescending, Mr. Tant. If you enjoy Folgers, Jody, and who am I to disparage your choice? That's how he, I mean, all he did was send me a message, but I know that's how he would have said it. There are better options out there, but if you like Folgers, cool. In a similar vein, many people get stuck on brown sugar Pop-Tarts when there are clearly superior choices. Shut up, Derek. I don't need that shit in my life. I don't, this kind of negativity about brown sugar Pop-Tarts from somebody like Derek who eats the toaster strudels with their little icing packs of glue. It's just disgusting. So Typing Piper asked Gribbs to ask Derek Tant, has Derek Tant did more coffee. Typing Piper asked Gribbs to ask Derek Tant, has Derek ever tried cat poop coffee? I didn't know this was a thing, first off. Number two, I'm sure he has, right? Because if he'll eat toaster strudels, he'll try anything. Or is that a thing he plans to try if he hasn't? Derek says, I am certainly aware of the infamous Kopi Luwak. I haven't seen that episode of Star Wars. You lost me at Jar Jar. The coffee that is gathered from the excrement of the civet cat. Reports show that it is incredibly expensive and tastes rather mediocre. Never had it, do not plan to. This is what's wrong with you coffee people, okay? Right? I've gone through several layers of snobbery in my life, and I am settled on pipe tobacco snobbery. By the way, this Tsuji Gunjun, whatever, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It doesn't stay lit worth a damn, but that might just be because I'm talking too much. Anyway, when you have a freaking delicacy flavored with cat poop, like, can you imagine, like, oh, have you tried the new Esoterica, like, Frisky's litter box with a little bit of Orientals and some Macedonian Latakia, like, Macedonian, what was the one from the guy that reviewed Stonehaven or something like that, and he was comparing it to a Macedonian hooker? I don't know, but that's what you would put if you were going to put cat poop into pipe tobacco, right? To maybe improve the room note of the Latakia. This joke just got away from me. I haven't slept. I don't mind getting up early. That's not the problem. The problem is the differential between the normal time you get up and the early time. So what I did was I decided, okay, I got to get up at 4 in the morning to get to this 6 o'clock sunrise wedding. So I'm going to get up at 4 in the morning a couple of days beforehand to try to take a little bit of the shock away. The problem with that is I have a toddler now. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, well, if I get up at 4, that means I got to go to bed at 8 to get 8 hours of sleep. Toddler doesn't go to bed till like 9:30. And then anyone who's ever had a kid will know you don't get anything done until after the kid goes to sleep. So it's been like 3 days of getting 5 hours of sleep. And then this morning, and then yesterday my buddy talked me into, well, he said he would pay for it. And so that's why I went to a Mongolian buffet. I don't know what makes it a Mongolian buffet. He said it's because they cook the food for you. And I'm like, yeah, but they do that at every buffet. The point is, we went and fished all day, and then we went to this Mongolian buffet, and I was starving, and I ate all this food, which was, good, but it was basically one step up from the grocery store hot bar, like in the last video where I talked about it. And it's kind of a questionable meal. And so I ate all this food. And so at midnight, I woke up with this horrible, gastric reflux, from hell, and immediately thought I had been food poisoned, and I had, a freaking panic attack, trying not to throw up, even though I wasn't going to throw up. I just thought I might throw up. But then I was like, oh, God, I'm going to have to call these people and tell them I can't shoot their wedding because I'm food poisoned. And it's just, I'm feeling a little under the weather right now. Pause, damn it. B. Abrar asks Gribbs, do you think society should give its groups, in parentheses, pipe smokers, African Americans, Muslims, transsexuals, specific rights because it's their right? And if so, is it a good idea to ask for responsibilities in exchange for those groups, such as group rights, such as a group tax? Well, no, that's a terrible idea. Don't do that. No. And okay, I'm mostly hung up on pipe smokers already kind of pay a group tax because, but when you buy a freaking tin of tobacco, you're paying, does it say on here? I don't know, you're paying tax, you're paying extra, more than just if I went and bought a candy bar. Well, in some states, candy bar eaters is another special interest group. If I went and bought a rock from the rock store, I would pay, a certain percentage. if it's tobacco or some other sinful thing that the government doesn't like, they say they don't like, you pay extra taxes. And so out of the ones you list, pipe smokers, African Americans, Muslims, and transsexuals, we're the only ones that actually pay a group tax. Ergo, we should get to vote twice so that I can not vote twice and piss everyone off. Again, I just don't understand what we have in common with African Americans, Muslims, and transsexuals. Like, one's a race, one's a religion, one is a sexual identity or gender identity or whatever the hell, and then one is us. Like, are we really that? I mean, do we need... I think we're just a bunch of people that like to smoke pipes, right? As PJ O'Rourke said, there is only one basic human right. I'm reading the quote right here because I'm too tired to remember it. That is the right to do as you damn well please. And that's kind of how I feel about all that. David, 35445, asks Gribbs, Bigfoot is one mysterious entity. Because I asked you guys, do you believe in Bigfoot? Just to kind of I subscribe to the Bigfoot subreddit, and it's mostly just hilarious. Like, it's pretty funny. And I've yet to see, I've been a subscriber for like a month, and I've yet to see any like actual discussion of Bigfoot. Anyway, Bigfoot is one mysterious entity. What are your thoughts about Loch Ness types of animals existing in our oceans and lakes? Much more plausible than Bigfoot. I think I'm not a big fan of the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not really sold on that. But are there species like deep ass in a lake somewhere that we haven't discovered? Yeah. Are there holdovers from various ecological eras? Maybe. Probably so. Yeah, I would think so. I'm not a biologist or a paleontologist or a orthodontist or any of those guys, but that would be my guess. It would just make sense that just because we've had a technological revolution and an industrial revolution, that doesn't mean we've necessarily discovered every damn thing there is to discover. So I'm more amenable to Loch Ness style stuff than I am Bigfoot. Ask Gribbs, forget Bigfoot. Is this the much rarer female Gribbly? Oh, check out her channel. She is witty and intelligent. Big use of the pause button. Her channel is Adventures and Naps. I went and, I'm going to go watch a video right now real quick. Hang on.
Fantastic. Another one of my monthly favorites. Does that make me more professional if I do it like that? Basically, it's a Revlon Youth FX. Because I want to
She's talking about makeup.
age till when
DNG LOS Ask Gribbs, does having 1,000 followers make you feel like a cult leader? No. Calling myself a level 50 shaman makes me feel like a cult leader. D. Hicks asks, do you think the fish know what gear you're using? Nope, I don't. I think that they might know. It stands to reason that the fish might recognize certain flies, meaning that fish in a really, really pressured place. I've stopped using beadhead flies where fish see a lot of pressure, and I have seen an uptick in my catch rates because I feel like a gold bead is really recognizable. They all look the same. And so even accounting for differences in one tire's style, fly tire's style to another, you put a gold bead on the end of something, that gold bead is gonna hit something in that fishy brain and say, maybe don't bite that. But that's about as far as I think a fish is aware of our gear. I don't think they care at all. DNGLOS, Danglos, DNG, whatever. He was the one that said you should get rid of the Bic lighter and get a clipper. As soon as this one dies, you better believe it. Carving Piper asks Gribbs, what is a suitable punishment for spin fishermen who are fishing in the fly-only zone? I gave this some thought. Hear me out. I know this is going to seem extreme, but what if a fly fisherman catches a spin fisherman in the fly-only zone, he gets to regale the spin fisherman about bugs for half an hour? Seriously, man, yesterday was the first day that delayed harvest is over, right? So there's these entire sections of river where they stock them, but you can't take the fish home until the first Saturday in June. Went fishing yesterday. Worm drowners everywhere, man. Like, coming out of the woodwork. and it was like opening day all over again. And that's fine. I don't, whatever. But it was a whole different atmosphere on the water. We'll put it like that. Whole different, and still the dogs. You can't hike far enough to get away from the families that like to throw their dogs in your fishing hole. There was like a family with a teacup poodle, like bringing their dog along with them. The dog is like this big, and they were dunking it in the water. Like, really? The dog doesn't want to go in the water. Like, why in the hell would you put the water's like waist deep right there, and they're just like putting it like, oh, isn't this cute? It's like you can't stop yourself, can you? You just gotta spook all the fish by like little poodle legs flapping around in the water. Devin Peterson asks, what are your thoughts on velvet pipe tobacco? Well, Derek, are you Derek Tant? Is this an alternate account? All right, Devin. My thoughts on velvet are that I haven't opened my giant tin of it, and I don't really have any thoughts. I will definitely let you know when I smoke it. Carving Piper again with a question. Ask Gribbs, what is your favorite species of fish, and what fly is the money fly for that species? I mean, trouts, right? And I would have to, I think it's kind of a toss-up between brook trout and rainbow. I think I'd rather catch a brook trout. If I knew it was a native brook trout, or way up in the woods somewhere, I'd probably rather catch. But I think for the money fly for me for trout is a size 12 or 14 Tenkara style Adams dry fly. That is my number one. I plan to do a big video about regaling everyone about bugs for half an hour. I'm going to talk about all the flies that I use. Because I have some thoughts on that philosophy of use and all that stuff. Todd Blessing asks Gribbs, chocolate and vanilla are the world's best flavors. But why did they stop making vanilla Pop-Tarts? Because no one needs Pop-Tarts other than brown sugar Pop-Tarts. It's all just frivolous. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you're going to come crawling back. Cobbett of the Shire asks Gribbs, you are working at a wedding, and one of the bridesmaids is the ugliest person you have ever seen. Do you take her picture? Of course. I mean, look at me. If people didn't take pictures of ugly people, do I need to keep going? I mean, so the real question is, what if the bride is the ugliest person you've ever seen? Because ugly people get married all the time. I got married. Ergo, and I had a photographer at my wedding. Why is there lint on my pipe tamper and wax? Ew. You just gotta wonder if somebody comes down here when I'm not here and I don't know what they do with my stuff. Anyway, yeah, this stuff doesn't stay lit very well thus far. The thing is, do I like taking pictures of handsome men and beautiful women? Yes, it's easier to, what I really think the difference is that those people are used to being appreciated for their looks, and therefore they're more comfortable with themselves and more comfortable in their bodies. They're more apt to be good at posing, even unconsciously, and it's easier to take pictures of them. Ugly people tend to be a little more self-conscious because we know we're ugly, right? I don't want my picture taken. It's amazing that I'm able to do this on YouTube. Because I hate being in front of the camera. And so we're harder to take pictures of because we inherently don't pose as well. And that's true of me. That's true of me as well. I mean, when I know someone's taking my picture, I can generally take what I know about posing and try to do that, but I don't pose as well as a very attractive lady who has been told her entire life, wow, you're so attractive. Some attractive people know they're attractive. The point is that I'm trying to make, everybody deserves to have their picture taken on their wedding day, and I don't care if they are beautiful or not. Does that answer your question? Yes. So yes, I would take her picture. Beard asks Gribbs, do you think there are many Americans that wish the U.S. had a royal family? No, there are no Americans that wish the U.S. had a royal family because that is un-American. Thank you, Beard, for the question. I mean, we kind of have some royal families, right? Like Kardashians. We have people that are famous because they're famous, right? Like, what did the Kardashians do? What did Paris Hilton do to become famous? She's just famous, right? No one knows why they're famous. Like, at least Ozzy Osbourne did something, to pick a name. I'm thinking of people that have had reality shows. Ozzy Osbourne did something to get a like other people, they're just famous. And I think that's kind of the same as like, why are you the king? Because I'm royalty. Why are you royalty? Because I'm the king. That's right. And so it's not to say that Americans don't lionize certain individuals for no reason other than they seem lionizable. It's to say that we don't, we inherently don't, we like very secular and business-like forms of government. And then we go and elect someone like Donald Trump, and all that goes out the window. But you could just as easily make a counter argument in that by not electing Hillary Clinton, we effectively stymied, staunched a political dynasty, because it's like the Bushes, the Bush, Kennedys, these political dynasties, they kind of get more toward royalty than I'm comfortable with. But again, I go down this line using 2-year-old knowledge because I don't pay attention to this stuff anymore. Somebody asked me yesterday, is Donald Trump as bad as you thought he would be? And my answer was yes and no. Like, there's no trench warfare yet. So I figured that by now we'd definitely be seeing trench warfare. And then in other ways, it's like the dude just won't shut up, man. Just shut up. Just shut up. Take the phone away from Donald Trump and Roseanne. Dude. So, okay, here's my theory on this, right? Here's my theory. Roseanne wanted to get her show canceled. I mean, that's not even my theory. That's like Tom Arnold theory. I think what happened was ABC went to her and they were like, look, we know you're a loose cannon. How about we give you $50 gajillion to get the hell out of this franchise? And she was like, okay. But of course, she can't just back away from it because she's the star, right? So they had to orchestrate this thing where she makes this stupid racist comment, and then they cancel the show, makes ABC look good, makes Roseanne look exactly like Roseanne always looked. I mean, whoever thought she was like the pinnacle of tact? I don't understand that. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I bet we will see a Roseanne reboot without Roseanne. I think that's already there's some discussion out there already happening. I think this was it's all theater. It's all theater. Okay, I am going to stop talking and enjoy the rest of my bowl of Tsuji, Gunjane, what the fuck ever. I'm going to enjoy it by shutting up and letting you guys go about your Sunday. I hope you have a great one. We got more videos coming up. I have a really good random misadventure compilation to share with you this week. And, oh yeah, the rest of the day I got to go spend with the old in-laws. So that ought to be... Have a good one. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.